camera. Hello, hello world. Glad to see you all here. I'm Alibard Jones, and I have some enormous news for you. For those of you who don't know who we are, we're a team of astral projectors, and we fight very, very hard to shut down the cabal and their non-physical allies. And today we had a huge victory, absolutely immense. One that I did not predict we'd be tackling so soon, but it's a case of mission creep that just kept getting better and better. Now, for those of you who are used to my YouTube channel, um, the YouTube channel is full of stories of what our astral projection team has done in order to make the world a better place, in order to shut down all of the evil that's on offer. Yeah, and we've been doing this for a long time. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about, you might need to read some of the notes before. Now, today's mission, our little group met up online as we usually do, and we go around and we fly, we astral project. We call it a flight, and we meet together on the astral planes, and then we go out and we do this, that, or the other thing. Now, what we started with was we wanted to make sure the vote at the World Health Organization at the end of the month does not sign humanity into slavery. Okay, and for those of you who are not familiar with the vote, the idea is that the World Health Organization could, at any time it chose, declare a pandemic, and then their rules would supersede the law of every nation, and they could effectively become emperors of the globe. And they can do this on a whim. That's what the legislation that they're offering says, and 194 member states are going to the meeting to vote yes or no to that worldwide pandemic treaty. Now, of course, nobody wants this. And the question that always needs to be asked is, why would these people vote for that? Like, this is clearly selling out humanity. What would motivate you to sell out your species? Is there anything that you could be offered that would be enough payment for you to sell out your entire species? And the answer that we came up with was something very, very different. You see, everybody at that super high level of government is possessed. You're not welcome into the job unless you are possessed. Everybody who goes into the process has gone through something that we call a dark covenant. And this is a deal with the devil, because that's what it costs to get these big, big jobs. A deal with the devil that means that the devil can deputize another demon to use your body as much as it wants. And so the reason why the WHO vote would actually work is because humans would not sell out humanity, but demons in human bodies would actually do a really great job. They'd vote for that, of course, because what this is actually the final step in the demonic takeover of Earth. They've had a really, really good run for a very, very long time. And for those of you who are familiar with our work, I think this is the leading research worldwide. Now, I recently did a channel with the Lord of Hate, or the demon Lord of Hate, who is Lucifer's right hand. And he told us that we are the first group to ever assault hell, to ever attack and damage hell, ever in the history of anybody, ever. And these are beings who are eternal. They've been around for 10,000 years, if not 100,000 years, somewhere in that number. And they've been manipulating people forever. They're very, very good at it. So our team started with the objective to shut down the World Health Organization vote. And what we saw was I took a group out and introduced them to what we'll be tackling, which is a contract sequence that is all about handing over control of the body to a demon. And they do a great they're very good at it. It's a very, very powerful covenant to be involved in. And so our team, we were looking at it. We were looking at how many people worldwide have that, how many politicians have that particular covenant. And once we saw like they were controlling one person, we started with the president of Belgium for some bloody reason. And we saw the blueprint that they had on him. And then we saw him as part of an administrative group of 100. And then we saw all of these administrative groups answering to a senior group, which is which amounted to 20,500 humans who have gone through this dark covenant process, who are involved in politics, which creates a really, really massive power block and a subversive power block that makes things like the great health crisis of 2020 possible. Like that actually our governments are 99% possessed. And there's no other way to think of how this world is being governed. If you really start using that template of foreign possession and undermining of global governance, if you use that template, then things start to make sense. Like maybe these aren't humans at all. Maybe these are demonically possessed types. And that's what our astral projection team has found. And everybody on our astral projection team is a total rock star, having done a minimum of 10,000 hours. But most of our senior staff have been doing this 15, 20 years. It's awesome. What else do I want to say? So we started to see this structure that was a administration structure where they administer and coordinate 20,000 political appointees all over the globe, so that when they create a crisis, when they create a story, that they are all in perfect lockstep. They're receiving their instructions in perfect synchronicity because they're coming from the same demonic source straight into here for these guys. Now, we thought about this and we thought we can destroy all of that because it's a good idea. But in order to prevent these guys from signing back up and getting back onto the bandwagon with demonkind and re-entering that position, recreating the covenant. And we've done this before with political leaders, local political leaders in Australia. In the States, for the States, they're called premiers, but in the US, they'd be called governors of different states. And each time we did it, we saw a backtrack in the lockdown sequence. And then about a week later, they'd start reinstating it again as they signed back up with demonkind and asked for more, because they don't have any protection from the karma that's coming to them, and demonkind has the only way to avoid karma. They're the only ones who can look after it. So we realized that we would have to disengage the entire group from demonkind and make it impossible for them. And so this involves recovering the soul shard, or the part of themselves that they give to hell, which means yet another incursion into hell. And our team has done 6 in the last month or month and a half. We've been very, very successful. Like, they don't actually have a response to what we do. So we went in there, we pulled up 20,000 demons and what's the right word for them? Processed them back into space dust so they can be recreated back into the whole. And also the hierarchy that manages those 20,000 possessing demons. We also recovered all of the soul shard that the political types gave there. But what was really interesting is that the Dark Covenant has an extra condition where the human personality goes into stasis in hell. It goes into a location, into a reality, into a matrix all of its own that's full of booze and dancing girls and whatever it is they're into, But the human lives that pretend life in there because they set it up for that. And meanwhile, the demon causes unlimited havoc in a political role. Now, We did this about 2 hours ago, and I expect that you would see a jump in the Schumann resonance as a direct result of that. And I'm sure in the comments somebody can check that, and we'll hear about it in more detail. But not only, yeah, and then and so we also repatriated those personalities back to their original bodies, and also remove the karma barriers so they can deal with that nonsense, so that they can pay for their crimes. This is when Lucifer got upset. You know, he was quite ropeable, really. Quite upset's not the word. He was aggressive and angry and threatening all kinds of stuff. And several members of our team all had the feeling that there would be a police issue for each of us in the very, very near future. And so it became a survival mechanism that we also go after um, those possessed upper police force. Sorry, it's my belief that the upper echelons of the police force are possessed, or I'm sorry, and this was proven when we looked at overlapping groups between the police force and dark covenants, and there's plenty of them worldwide, thousands and thousands. Uh, Even more so, we also went after judges for whom we found 300,000 worldwide who had made some kind of demonic deal. And so, and don't think that Lady Justice, you know, the blind lady the blind goddess who's appears just about on just about every courthouse. Um, you know, she has a sword and the scales, but remember, she's blind. She can't see the scales. She doesn't care if you're guilty or not, but she will use the sword on anyone who comes near. And that's how the judicial system works. It's out for blood, not for fairness. So we repeated that. Procedure on the judiciary and the upper echelons of the police. So, and so I'm not sure what kind of results this will have, but do you know who we found at the top of all of this? You know who was the administrator for all of this? Baphomet. He's the co-opted Lord Pan. He's been around for about 800 years, but Baphomet um, is would be the key administrator for Earth. He doesn't rule it, but he owns all of the people who live in important decision-making positions for our globe. And you know, Baphomet, he's at the top of the Freemason. He's the god that the Freemasons worship, and he's the one that they make deals with to get, well, whatever it is that they want, whatever, you know. And I interviewed him 10 days ago, I'll say, and I haven't published it yet, but and I've got 2 videos coming out, which is where I interview demonic management, and they are the Lord of Hate and Baphomet. I expect we'll be interviewing Satan and Lucifer and Pistis Sophia in the very, very near future. What else do I want to say right now? And so it was very much a mission creep event where we set out to hunt down those people who would sell the world to the World Health Organization. And turns out that we needed to not only take the demonic injection out of each of the political groups that they own, but also the judicial and the policing groups for our own safety. Other than that, I don't think they have any weapons or anything that they can do about us. Like, I think the fall of hell and the collapse of all demonic operations on Earth is going to happen within the next 2 to 3 months. It's not far away. And today was a massive victory. Now, for those of you, and our team, after we've completed the destruction of hell and demonkind, we'll be working on the AI and a number of other more gentle and more lovely world-class projects, or projects that involve the entire globe's energy system. And so we're looking right now, as we always are, for more very veteran healers. If you've got 10,000 hours meditation time under your belt, get in touch and be part of this, because I think this is one of the pointy parts of the spear in Earth pushing back and reclaiming itself. You'll see that I speak at length on my YouTube channel about this. Though also, I should also let you know that come June 13, I'll be doing a training that trains people not only in healing. From June 13, there'll be an internet training where I tell you how to astral project and what to do once you get to the astral planes. To not only become a wonderful healer, and I do teach units in medical intuition, the structure of dimensions, structure of time. Have a look on my website, alabarjones.com. There is heaps of information there, and it's probably the most comprehensive course you'll see. And that starts in about 3-4 weeks. I only have 2 intakes a year in June and January, and so this is the time to get on it. Like, don't miss out. Be part of the group that changes global energetics for the better, because that's what we're all about. You'll love it, and everybody who joins the course, once they really understand what it does and what we're talking about, people don't let go. They hold on to this with both hands, because it is so powerful. Yeah, look, I love you all. And somebody did comment, my love for humanity is what keeps this whole show on the road. If I didn't care so much about the future of humankind, I wouldn't be involved in any of this. But look, drop me a line, get in touch. If you're interested in this course, there is a little spot on that page where you can put your email in and you'll be invited to this course. Yeah, love keeps us all. You're 100% right. But I just want everybody to check the Schumann resonance for me and just see if we've made such a massive change as I believe we have. And just as a little aside, do you know what else we found? The contract for government, the whole concept of government, the whole concept that we are so immature that we need somebody to tell us what to do. It was actually Lucifer's idea, and the whole contract with humanity. There is a contract, we found it, that demon kind is allowed to rule humanity because some idiot said yes some thousands of years ago and agreed to that contract, and we've still got it. Well, not anymore, because today we lost it. The whole concept of government, I expect, will change, and don't think the world's going to collapse into chaos immediately. That's not what government's about. And in fact, government causes more chaos than it solves. It causes more problems than it solves, that's for sure. But we're all adults and we know how to rule ourselves. And so what on earth do we need government for? We don't need them to rule us. It's not a requirement. But by all means, yeah, I think we're turning a corner, and I expect that we will close out the entirety of demonkind and their presence here on Earth for the first time in recorded and pre-recorded history. The work we're doing has not been seen since the time of Solomon. Yeah, so please support us. Please pray for the success of our group and for our intentions to be completed well. Yeah, look, love to you all, and may the force be with you. This is Alabar Jones signing out. Bye for now.